What is it costing you to wear that mask? What would happen if you just stopped? What wouldn't happen? What would happen if you noticed how exhausting it is to be someone you're not? Now, you don't call it that, of course. You call it being professional or keeping the peace, or maybe you call it doing what you got to do. But you wouldn't call it not being yourself, right? But let's get honest here. You don't call it that, but you also do call it that because it's a mask. And a mask is just a way for you to cover up your true self for the benefit or the perceived benefit of someone else. But in reality, what you're doing is altering someone else's reality of who you really are. And you're really doing them and truly yourself a disservice when you choose to put that mask on. Hey man, I'm Kyle. I'm a certified master NLP practitioner and a certified master success coach for men who are done pretending they're okay, ready to remove the mask and start leading their life from true grounded masculinity. And just for you watching this, I have put free resources in the description below for you to get for yourself and to start making the change. And when would be now a good time to do that? So today we're going to talk about the mask or masks that you've been wearing and what they're really costing you and really how to take them off before they kill the man you actually are. We're going to look at four of them. Now, there are more masks than just these four, but these are the most common ones that my clients have seen in themselves. So take a deep breath and buckle up. This may get bumpy for you. So the problem is that most men come to me are wearing at least one mask. Some are wearing three or four at the same time. There's the strong mask. This is, the I've got it all under control. I don't need help. There's the nice guy mask. It comes as, I'll keep everyone happy even if it kills me. Then there's the success mask. If I if I just hit the next goal, I'll finally feel enough. And then there's the tough guy mask. If I stay hard, nothing can hurt me. And here's the thing, some of these masks might have saved, your ass once. They might have served you, before in a moment of your life. They might have gotten you through a hard childhood, a brutal breakup, a season of your life where you couldn't afford to let anyone see you sweat. But now they're not saving you anymore. They're not serving you anymore. They're suffocating you. They're doing you a disservice and really everyone around you. And here's the part you probably don't want to hear. You know it. You know that the masks are not serving you. You know that they're stopping you from not only, reaching your best self, but they're stopping you from just being your true self. You feel it every time you walk into a room and can't say what you actually think. Every time you laugh at something that isn't funny just because of who said it. Every time you're on with everyone else, but then you're off when you're alone. And that mask that you're wearing, all it does is hide you from other people. They hide you from real connection. They also hide you from yourself. So, why do men wear masks? Look, I'm not here to shame you for doing what you had to do. A lot of us learned early that being, our real self wasn't safe. You showed weakness, you got mocked. You spoke your mind, you got shut down. You asked for help, you got ignored. So you built a version of yourself that could survive. You became, the funny guy, the reliable guy, the driven guy, the no bullshit guy, right? And and it worked until it didn't. Because at some point, Your survival mode became your prison. And now you've got a career, a relationship, maybe even a family, but you don't have you. Here's what masks really do: they kill intimacy. You can't connect deeply if you never let anyone see the real you. Masks drain your energy. Performing all day is exhausting. They feed imposter syndrome because deep down, you know they don't love you. They love the mask. Masks keep you stuck. You can't grow into the man you're meant to be if you're busy maintaining the character that you've built to survive. You want to know why so many men burn out, blow up their marriages, or self destruct in midlife? It's because they realize too late that they've spent decades living as someone else. So, why do you keep wearing them? Now, I can already hear the excuses coming. It's just how I am. No, it's how you learned to be. There's a difference. The excuse of, if I take the mask off, people won't like me. Good. Those aren't your people. The excuse of, I can't just be myself at work or in my relationship. It's just not that simple. You're right. It's not simple, but it's necessary. And you already know the cost of not doing it. The truth, you don't keep wearing the mask because you like it. You keep wearing it because you're scared of who you'll be without it. Because the man underneath hasn't been out in the world in a long time. So let's look at the four types that my clients most identify for themselves while working with me. And maybe you can see one of these four, if not all of them, that you wear in your life. The first one, and really the most common, is the strong mask, right? This is the I've got it all under control. I don't need help. This is the man who won't admit he's struggling. No matter what's going on, he's fine. His house could be on fire and he'd be standing there saying, "It's all good. I've got it handled." This mask looks like independence, but it's actually isolation dressed up as strength. So let's look at why you choose to wear it. Usually, this started in your childhood. Maybe you grew up in a home where asking for help wasn't an option. Maybe you saw vulnerability get punished. Maybe maybe no one was there for you when you needed them. So you learned to do it all by yourself, to do it all alone. And over time, you started believing that if you ever showed weakness, you'd lose respect or control. Now, I understand that the strong mask feels powerful, but it's a slow death. It's why you feel alone, even in a room full of people. It's why your shoulders ache because you've been carrying every load yourself. It's why you've never had someone truly get you because you've never let them see past that mask. And, maybe you tell yourself, this is just how I am. But deep down, you know that's not how you are. And if you're being honest with yourself, you're tired. And I get it. You wore that mask because it was the most resourceful way to get you through a situation that felt unsafe. And now this mask keeps you from building real connections. People don't feel close to you, they feel managed by you. You'll burn out before you ever break through because no man was meant to carry life alone. And and one day you'll realize you built a life where no one really knows you. That's not strength. That's solitude disguised as control. And You can choose something different if you're interested. The second most common one is the nice guy mask. This gets worn to keep everyone happy, even if it kills you. This is the man who bends over backwards for everyone, his boss, his partner, his friends, thinking that if he just gives a little more, maybe it will be enough and they'll give back to him. You're agreeable, accommodating, and you rarely say no until resentment eats you alive. This mask often grows from a need for safety. Maybe growing up, you had to keep the peace to avoid conflict. Maybe love and approval were conditional, so you learned to earn them by, being good. And let's be honest, the world rewards this mask in short term. People like you. They say you're dependable, but they don't respect you as much as you think. I mean, you can keep lying to yourself if that feels resourceful for you, but you know it's not. You say yes when you mean no. You swallow your truth because you don't want to upset anyone. You make sure everyone else is comfortable while quietly resenting them for never doing the same for you. And the worst part of all of this is you can't remember the last time you made a decision just for yourself. The nice guy mask robs you of self-respect. You're liked, but you're not respected. You're included, but you're not influential. Your relationships lack depth because no one's ever met the real you. And you keep attracting people who just, you know, constantly take because you've taught them you'll give until there's nothing left. You're abandoning yourself for the sake of being nice. And once you see the mask for what it really is and you call it out by name, you now have the power within you to make a different choice. You have the choice for yourself to remove the mask and show up fully, unapologetically you, if you're interested. The third one is the success mask. You tell yourself, if I just hit the next goal, right, I'll finally feel like I'm enough. This used to be me. This is this is the man whose entire identity is built on achievement. Every win feels good for about 30 seconds, and then it's on to the next thing. Underneath all the ambition is the belief if I can just achieve more, I'll finally prove my worth. People will finally respect me. I will finally respect myself. Sometimes this starts from a father who was never satisfied. Sometimes it's trying to outrun the feeling of being overlooked. You were taught that value comes from what you do, not from who you are. So you chase and chase and chase. You never actually feel proud. You you cross one finish line and immediately feel behind again, so you start looking for another race. You start looking for which finish line is the closest to you so you can get there faster than anyone else. That'll show them I can cross this next finish line, then I'll be enough. You'll see. But is it? Is it enough? The problem, you know, the problem with this is that your relationships suffer because you're married to the grind. You can't slow down because you're terrified of what you might feel if you did. And the truth is, you don't even know what enough looks like because everything you do is never enough. You can't even give the word a meaning or define it because you yourself make it an unobtainable outcome. The success mask will burn your life to the ground while people applaud you for it. You'll lose intimacy because you're always working. You'll miss your own life because you're too busy building it. And when the applause fades, you'll be left with a version of yourself that's been neglected for decades. And there is another choice. There is really another way if you're interested. And the last one that my clients find for themselves is the hard mask, right? This is the belief that, if I stay hard, nothing can hurt me. The tough mask, right? This is, the man who hides his fear and pain behind armor. He's hard to the point of emotional shutdown. He mistakes numbness for strength. He thinks, feelings are for soft men, but the truth is he's ruled by his feelings he refuses to face. He's controlled by the very emotions he says he doesn't have. Usually this comes from being hurt really, really deeply, and then deciding it'll never happen again. Maybe you were betrayed. Maybe you lost someone. Maybe vulnerability got used against you. So you built walls so high that no one could ever touch you again. You keep people at arm's length, even the ones you love. You struggle to connect with your partner, your kids, your friends, because connection requires openness, and openness is weakness. And you're not weak, you're tough. You live in a constant low level tension, always ready for the next blow, the next attack against yourself. And no matter how unshakable you look, you're exhausted from holding up the armor. And you know you are. And I know it's exhausting acting in a way that is not aligned with your truth and who you really are underneath that mask. You know it's really not you. And and again, I get it. You made a choice, one day where this was the most resourceful option you had to stay safe. And over time, it became so familiar to you that the mask actually started to melt into your skin. Now you feel like you can't remove it because it would hurt more than it would help. Would it though? The tough guy mask, cost you intimacy, trust, and peace. You might never get betrayed again, but you'll never get truly loved either. You live in a self imposed, exile, mistaking loneliness for safety. And the truth is, you're not unbreakable, you're just unavailable. You're unavailable to not only everyone around you, but most importantly, you're unavailable to yourself. And you do have options if you're interested. So now let's look at how you can take the mask off. So here's the good news, okay? Uh sorry, this topic really kind of kind of gets to me a little. So here's the good news. You don't have to rip it off all at once. You start slowly. You start by catching yourself in the act. Notice when you're about to say something just to get approval. Notice when you're holding back your real opinion because you don't want conflict. Notice when you're smiling, but your chest really feels heavy. And instead of grabbing that mask out of your pocket to don it, you pause. You ask, what's the real thing I want to say right now? What would I do if I wasn't trying to impress someone else or protect myself? Then you try it. Just try it. Even if your voice shakes, even if it feels awkward, and let me tell you, it will feel awkward. And it is awkward because you're doing something new. Like showing up as you really are, not a version of yourself that you've been performing. At first, it'll feel like walking out into the cold without a coat, but over time, you realize you don't need the coat. You're strong enough to stand in the cold without it. And here's the part that no one tells you, but I will. The more you drop the mask, the more energy you'll have, the more respect you'll get, the more trust you'll build, not just with others, but with yourself. And really, that is the best reward you could get. To get back to yourself, your true self, that's the greatest act of self-love and self-respect that anyone can do, not only for themselves, but for the ones in their life that they love and care for. So I want you to understand why does this even matter? Right? Why does this matter? Every man watching this has a choice to make for himself. You can keep playing the role that keeps everyone else comfortable, or you can start living in a way that makes you powerful. The choice is really yours because power isn't about being bulletproof. It's about being real enough that you don't have to hide anymore. You take the mask off, you get your life back. You keep it on, and you keep living someone else's life. It's it's really that simple. And I promise you, you've got more to give than the character that you've been playing. So really right now, you're standing at a fork in the road, aren't you? And the truth is, you've been probably standing here for years, but you've been pretending it's not a choice when in reality, it actually is a choice. It's 100% a choice. That's all it is. Because here's the uncomfortable reality. You can keep playing the role you've mastered, the one that keeps everyone else comfortable, the one that gets you just enough approval to keep you quiet, the one that makes sure nobody has to feel awkward around you except you. Or you can choose something different if you're interested. You can start living in a way that makes you powerful. And I don't mean the fake kind of power, not the puffed up chest, the loud voice, the nothing can touch me act, because that is a mask too. I'm talking about the kind of power where you can walk into a room fully. And when you walk into that room fully, you walk in as yourself without wondering who you have to be today to be accepted. Because real power isn't about what facade looks the best. It's about being so damn real that you don't need to hide anymore. So I want you to think about this. How much of your life right now is spent in hiding? Hiding your opinions because you don't want the argument. Hiding your struggles because, no one would get it. Hiding your real self because you're afraid that if people saw you, they might leave. But here's the thing about hiding, you're not just hiding from them, you're hiding from you. This isn't about who's going to hold the world record for, hide and seek. This is about coming home to your true self. And the cost of that mask that you're choosing to wear every day, you wear it. You're living out someone else's life. A life a life shaped by other people's expectations, rules, and comfort zones. A life that's safe, predictable, and hollow. When you choose to take the mask off, you get your life back. You get your voice back. You get your fire back. You stop living in reaction to the world and you start creating your own. And let me be clear, taking it off won't be easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it will be. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And what you need to hear isn't always going to make you feel good. And I'm not only going to hold you to your highest, but I'm going to challenge you to reach higher than you ever thought was possible because I know you can do it. And you know that you can do it. Removing these masks means feeling things you've avoided for years. It means some people won't like you, the real you, and that's okay. They were never meant for you, anyways. It means you might have to rebuild parts of your life from the ground up. And I know what this looks like and feels like because I've had to do it in my own life several times, actually. I know what you're facing and what's waiting for you on the other side: freedom, peace, self acceptance, a kind of confidence that you can't fake because it's not built on an image, it's built on truth. Your truth, not what someone else thinks or wants for you, but what you want for yourself. And I've said it before, you have more to give than the character that you've been playing. More strength, more leadership, more love, more purpose. The only question is, are you going to keep hiding behind that mask? Or are you ready to see what's been waiting for you on the other side of it? If this landed with you, give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Share this with a fellow brother that might need to hear it. Okay, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever I release a new video. I also have free resources below that will help you start rebuilding from the inside out. Tools that work, built for men just like you. And if you're interested in making a real lasting change for yourself, I work with men just like you in private one-on-one containers. The application to work with me is in the description, and just know I don't work with everyone. I only work with men who are bold, willing, and seeking. And if you're still here watching this, that's you. So hit subscribe for yourself, grab the tools, and reach out. Give me a follow too on social media. Links are in the description. Remember, you're not broken. You're becoming. I'll see you on the next video. Stay strong, brother.